One day Val and Earl they find the town drunkard, Edgar, on the top of an electricity tower, dead, with a rifle in his hands. They start wondering whether he was so afraid of something that he preferred dying up there of thirst. They take him to the doctor who confirms that Edgar died of dehydration but leaves his death unsolved. Miguel, a local cattle rancher, also talks about how a good number of his herd disappeared without a trace. Heading out of town, they stop by old Fred's farm and find he's been decapitated, his head lying half buried under his fedora. Thinking there may be a murderer on the loose. They also discover the Doc's car when they hear the stereo still on and the headlights sticking up vertically. On the road they find it blocked by a small landslide. Assuming it was caused by the two road workers, they get out of their truck to yell at them and find the men's helmets lying in the Val and Earl ride as fast as they can, but their horses are suddenly spooked by some of the snakes. They run away on foot, but the creature runs after them. As they run, they try to jump across a concrete ditch. The creature chasing them suddenly hits the wall of the ditch, killing itself. At that moment, the seismologist shows up again. They discover that the creature stinks horribly, is several meters long, and that the snakes were a kind of tentacles protruding from its beaked mouth. Rhonda checks her seismographs, learning that there must be at least 3 more of those snake-mouthed monsters. When the 3 are going back to perfection, another of the creatures tries to capture them. They can only see a trail of dust flying as the monster swims invisible through the soft soil of the valley. This dust trail is going to be the sign that a critter is moving underground from now on. Val, Earl and Rhonda run for dear life and end up to some tall rocks where the creatures cannot climb. They stay there, but the creatures are very patient. Finally, Rhonda devises a plan. They manage to climb from one rock to the other and to jump into their van, being closely followed by the hungry monsters. They deduce that creatures feel them because they can make sense of the noise humans make in the form of vibrations, either by simple movement or talking. Back to the drugstore, Walter decides to call the monsters graboids. Melvin is still mocking Earl and Val stupidly, but Val has to risk her life to save Mindy Sterngood, Ariana Richards, who had been hopping around with her headphones on, not listening to her mother Nancy, Charlotte Stewart's cries. When they think they have outwitted the graboids by taking refuge atop the roofs of buildings, the graboids destroy the building's foundations. The buildings are simple and fragile, completely made of planks of wood. A graboid manages to eat Walter, emerging from under the cheap wooden shop floor. Another graboid eats Nestor, Richard Marcus, and one of them manages to destroy one of the underground walls of the Gummers, but they fight back with all their weaponry, finally killing the vicious creature. They think of another plan. They throw dynamite to the animals, who swallow everything but are afraid of strong noises, which hurt their sensitive sense. The dynamite explodes within one of the critters, killing it. They try the same trick with the other graboid, but the remaining critter spits out the dynamite, and they have to run away from their safe hiding place. Val is on the open earth, so he is going to be detected and eaten by the surviving graboid. He decides to run, but the graboid is very fast. When Val is about to jump from a high cliff, he steps aside, but the graboid can't stop because of the distraction of their last dynamite blast, and falls from the cliff onto the void. They are happily alive, and Earl coaxes Val into asking Rhonda out. Val tries to fight it, because Rhonda is a university student with a brilliant future in front of her, and he has no prospects. Earl tells him that it's her who has to take a decision like that. The final scene shows some loose dirt moving on the dry soil of the valley, proving that there is at least one more ravenous creature alive.